Oh, we're starting on me? This is Corey and this is the O The Anthem podcast.
Good afternoon, everybody. It's Rob. Hey, one of us shaved 11 days ago.
One of us shaved 11 months ago.
Welcome to episode 292 of the O The Anthem podcast, coming to you from the hashtag OTA LA studios, high over the 110 freeway in downtown Los Angeles, California. Thank you for joining us.
Yes, thank you for listening on your podcatcher of choice. Once again, every week I say this. Every week it's true. Anchor.fm/O The Anthem is where you can go to find all the different places that we are available on podcatchers that you know and love. Go there to find us and subscribe.
And, of course, you can find O The Anthem at O The Anthem on Twitter and Instagram. You're watching live right now, hopefully, at facebook.com/O The Anthem, where we record live every single episode, so you can come and join and be part of the show. We take comments from the chat room right here and questions and just say hello to anybody who pops in.
General nonsense.
Yeah, and of course, you can find all the videos at youtube.com/O The Anthem, and everything O The Anthem related is always found at otheanthem.com, including the merch store, which people should take advantage of.
Need to come up with new merch. I think that's part of it. Well, right now I'm working on a super secret project for the podcast here. But as soon as that is done, then perhaps some more merch is in order.
Okay, yeah. I'm down for that. Always.
I still feel like we need some good LA merch.
Yeah,
like that seems to be on the docket. So
always good LA merch.
Yeah.
But so today is a very special day. It is the 11th of November, which makes it 11/11, and that is Veterans Day.
Yep.
Now, I'm going to ask you, Corey, a question I asked earlier, so I know that you know the answer. But the millennials at my office did not know the answer to this. What is the difference between Memorial Day and Veterans Day?
Well, Veterans Day is for all the veterans, regardless of whether or not they died or not. And Memorial Day is only to honor the ones who fall in battle.
Yes. Yeah. Memorial Day is to honor our fallen dead. And Veterans Day is to remember all the veterans.
Yeah.
More specifically, really the living ones, those who have fought and are still alive, who are living veterans.
Veterans Day is more the day where you walk up to somebody you know who served and thank them for doing so.
Yes.
Memorial Day is where you go to the grave of your grandfather who died in World War II and lay a rose and solemn tear and all that sort of stuff.
How would your grandfather have died in World War II?
Well, I'm saying he could have knocked up my grandmother prior to him leaving.
And then left and went.
Yeah,
I guess. And then the middle ground.
I mean, our boys die in war all the time. I don't know if you know this. So.
Yeah, no, I just feel like...
somehow there were children.
I didn't know your grandma was such a slut. I just gave it up before we went to war. I'm just saying, I didn't realize, she couldn't pawn that off on like Towboy at the country club or something? Like
No, it was a military wedding, so it happened in 10.5 days. And
it was a military wedding. They met 10.5
Swipe
days
right,
later. They were married.
Me.
She was pregnant literally the next day, and then he was off to war. But yeah, Veterans Day is also the day, of course, where we
writing letters like, one day I hope to meet our baby girl.
But yeah, so Veterans Day, we also remember those who have died, but who served, but didn't die in battle. That's the major difference is where and how did you die? If you remember your grandfather wearing a hat that had some sort of thing on it that was like Korea or WW2.
Yeah.
I mean, people are getting older. Vietnam.
Yeah.
That's a Veterans Day celebration. Memorial Day is, Corey, who never met his grandfather because he just knocked up his grandmother and then ran away to war.
He died later. It wasn't in war. That was all hypothetical.
So, happy Veterans Day to all the veterans who have served. As I pointed out earlier this year, it is possible that there is someone serving right now in Afghanistan who was not alive when this war began.
Yeah.
Because, as George Orwell told us, the war is not meant to be won. It's meant to be continuous. And on that note, more happy news. Corey, I am so glad that we live in Southern California.
You don't need to tell me why, but tell me why.
So, although the earth itself is trying to open and swallow us or burn us out, as if we were some lost spider in a bedroom when you want to go to bed, it's a terrible place to live, and human beings are not meant to live here, except for the weather is beautiful almost all of the time. There's no water. No natural water. We had to bring the water here to us.
Yeah, we had to figure out a way to screw other counties out of their water.
And then we're gonna name the most beautiful street in the entire place after the guy who brought us the water, and also killed 100,000 people outside of San Francisco when a dam burst.
Oh yeah, I can't remember.
Ooh, Hidden History of L.A.
Yeah.
Ooh, yeah.
Yeah, I remember
Mulholland.
that. Yeah, I remember that one.
One of the last Irishmen to do any good. And but so when the Earth isn't trying to kill you, again, we have 4 seasons here: fire, mud, earthquake, and sweltering heat. Otherwise, it's beautiful.
Yeah,
it's beautiful to live here.
All I know is that at some point I'm going to call home and like be completely unaware of what the weather is like in Baltimore. And I'm going to be like, it's such a beautiful day, isn't it? It's just like, it's 22 degrees. And I'm like, oh, fuck this.
Well,
fuck me, I guess.
That day might be this week because a word that we don't hear a lot here in Southern California, polar vortex.
Yeah.
Moving across the country. And, I'm completely unaware of the weather because I feel like I do have Google. Like when I say, good morning, Google, it gives me the weather. And it's usually somewhere in the range of 65 to 75 at the time I wake up. And then a high of somewhere between 79 and 109 for the day, depending on the time of year. So it's pretty reliable. But I did check out a weather report, and there was this lovely map of this swath of blue moving its way from the Pacific Northwest down into Mexico and then across the entire country.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, that's that thing, the polar thing that we used to have to deal with, the polar vortex. So apparently it's going to be record lows across the country. A plane slid off the runway in Chicago already from ice and snow.
You think they would have had that prepared? Like,
yeah. I mean, I
they
think
would know about that.
It's November. Maybe they were like, can't be this early. Climate change. That's how it works. And I don't want any of you to move here because rent is already too damn high.
Abercrombie and Fitch is making moves in the Seahawks game.
Corey is distracted by Monday Night Football playing on the TV. I don't want any of you to move here because rent's already too damn high. But I want you to wish that you did live here. So I feel like this week, maybe this weekend, is let's get in the pool and take some live video and send back to the people.
I'm fine with that.
I always love doing that. That's fantastic. We're going to have to do here at Da Vinci's pool, though, because the truth is...
I like how Roxy last night, too, was like talking about your coats.
Yes.
She's just like, why don't you wear this one? This one's stylish. And it's like, that's a winter coat.
It's a winter coat.
I never get to wear it.
I got it specifically to go home.
Maybe one day we'll go to Big Bear. I don't know.
You know what? It would be good for a skiing coat, too.
Yeah.
Because I got like the little the flexes in the underarm, so I could like hit the slopes a little bit.
Yeah.
Be fine. It's a 5'11" coat. One of the only things that is around in either of our apartments that Roberto didn't either steal or buy and lie about. So, one of those things.
His bosses might be listening.
Maybe he's watching it. What if he was watching live at work and he just heard us say
He's
that?
just
That would
folding
be
clothes with
something that Roberto didn't steal or yeah. Anyway, or lie about buying, because clearly he's been buying clothing and then lying about buying clothing. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah,
it's clearly that's what's happening. But yeah, so it's gonna be cold everywhere except for here. I said we have to get in the Da Vinci pool because the pool at Gia at 75 degrees. Just a little chilly.
Yeah.
We need that 85-degree heated pool.
Right. The heated pool makes sense. Yeah. Well, not only that, but we could go to the rooftop pool.
Oh, true. Yes.
And
one
look
of the
over over the downtown skyline and get extra sun because we'd be closer to it. At that point.
Right. Yes. 40 or so feet closer is always better.
It makes a huge difference in the amount of sun you get.
I think we keep the sun longer up there too. I feel like.
Yeah.
As it moves around.
Right.
The days are depressingly short. I really hate that. Like, I used to be like, you get distracted and then like wander outside at 5:30, and I'm like, oh, still, it's got time. Nope, we get distracted, wander outside at 4:45. It's pitch black. Anyway, so enjoy that cold, everybody. That's
come visit us.
Yeah, visit. Yes, move here. No.
Well,
don't do that.
If you guys are looking for a reason to visit, there is a Ravens-Rams game.
Oh, that's true.
If you were looking for that sort of thing.
But before we jump into it, let's make sure we intro Sports Ball. Yes.
So the Ravens played the Bengals, which I'm told is a professional football team.
Yes.
Certainly didn't. My dad. I talked to my dad for a few fleeting moments earlier today, and I was talking. We were talking about the Ravens game. I was just like, "How about that spin move by Lamar?" And he's just like, "Yeah, I did something like that once in a football game." And I'm just like, "I'm sure the level of competition was the same as the Bengals."
I mean, to be fair,
We had a good laugh because the Bengals aren't a very good football team.
no. They sat their multi-million-dollar quarterback, which I don't really understand.
Well, they're done. They're done with Andy Dalton, and they got a young guy. They need to see what they got because more than likely they're going to get the first overall pick.
Yeah.
And there's a couple quarterbacks in college. I don't know anything about college football, but apparently there's a couple quarterbacks who are real promising.
But see what you got, or else draft it.
See if this guy on the bench is any good. And, if he's the future, then why throw him away? Just trade that first round pick back for 5 additional picks.
Oh yeah, we need to beef up on the defense, perhaps. Based on what I saw from one highlight.
Well, I mean, like it's really an interesting idea. The Colts did it a couple years ago when they lost Luck for the year or something like that, and they finished like 4-12 or something, and had the 3rd pick overall. And they traded.
Which year is it that they lost Luck for the year?
It was a couple years ago. I think he had the shoulder injury.
And then
like
again, like 2 years after that, and then
something
again,
like that.
This
but
year.
It was recently when he was out for the year, and the Colts finished like 4-12, and they had like the 3rd overall pick in the draft, and then they traded back to pick 12 or something like that, but also got 3 additional first-round picks, and those first-round picks helped entirely turn their offense around.
Yeah,
because they just drafted like high first round or high linebacker or linemen.
Yep.
And just completely change their offensive line. And we're
let's hope
in the playoffs the next year.
Let's hope Luck doesn't get hit this time and doesn't get injured because his bones are made of glass.
Or just retire.
Yes. Or he'll just come out and retire right before the first game. That could be something that happens too.
We got your whole new offensive line. I really wish you hadn't.
Yeah, about that. But yeah.
You mean you got Jacoby a whole new offense? What? Oh, nothing.
Yeah, you look back and you're like, Jacoby, gonna be a good year for you, man. Yeah, all right. Wait, what? No, nothing. Let's just get through preseason. You sure you don't want him to take some more snaps? Really? I think he'd be good. He should take some snaps, right? Yeah. Okay, good.
I think it would help his confidence. Listen, I got an old shoulder. I wouldn't mind sitting on the sideline.
Get a little rest.
Yeah. The Ravens, though.
Yes.
Rob did not watch the game.
I was sick all weekend, and I really am hating that this is the 1 week they don't have a late Sunday game. They had the late Sunday game last week. Because mid-afternoon, I was finally able to get out of bed and go function and do something, and then immediately wanted to go right back to bed after we got back. But
these games are hard. I will fully admit. Rachel and I were late getting up in the morning because again, all you East Coasters, we get to gloat about our weather, but then we also have to talk to you about the pain of waking up for 10 a.m. East Coast football games.
Yeah, I'm leaving work early for a 5:15 Monday Night Football game.
We left the house a little late. Let's put it that way. It was already 14-0 by the time we were leaving the house, and it was almost one of those things like.
So 4 minutes into the first quarter.
Do we even bother going? Because we know how this. If it's 14-0 already. I think I know how this thing is going to go.
Yeah, I feel better about drinking at a bar at 9 a.m. than I do of drinking at home at 9 a.m.
Nobody sees it at home.
And we all know that Rachel doesn't mind where she gets her wine. So, although Angry Orchard back on tap at the beer garden, that was good news to receive. That almost got me out of bed when I saw that. I was like, maybe we could just go for just the rest of the game.
Just for the second half.
Yeah, I'm feeling okay. And, it's like apple juice, basically, right? That'll make me feel better.
It's like apple juice that's been let out.
Yeah, just it's kind of bad or something, but. So Ravens are looking amazing, and we're going to get to see them not next week, but the week after, right?
Yep.
Week after. Next week, do they play? They play a day game again, right? It's like night
against
game,
the Texans,
day,
I
night.
think.
Yeah, in Baltimore. Right?
Is it in Baltimore? I don't remember.
Where did they play? They played at Paul Brown, right?
Yeah.
So I think they're at home.
Well, that doesn't necessarily. I mean,
no. I was trying to remember the schedule because I think it was the night game was at home.
It was like home away.
Yeah, that's how November broke down. Because I was also trying to figure if they played a game while I was in Baltimore.
Yeah, they're in Baltimore this weekend.
Yeah, and then away
And then Niners, and then on the road at the Bills, and then home for the Jets, and then road for the Browns. Yeah, so it trades back and forth.
Yeah. And it turns out they are not. They're here in LA. Luckily, right before we go home for Thanksgiving, and then they're away while we're home for Christmas. I think.
Yeah.
Yeah. So one of those
12/29 Ravens Steelers would be a night game, or would be
at M&T.
Would be M&T, but would be a Sunday game. But I imagine that one gets flexed.
Also, I'm not in Baltimore on that day. I think that's what we were thinking about leaving and going on a.
That's right.
New Year's.
Yeah.
Vacation as well. So I'm not sure that I'll be in Baltimore that late. I think I was looking at the Sunday before because we're going in.
Gotcha.
The 22nd, and then we'll be there
at
that
the Browns.
Yeah, and they're.
I guess you could get a long layover in Cleveland.
Yeah, to see the game. What else is there to do in Cleveland? Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, I guess. Okay.
Listen, we all have dreams of moving to Cleveland.
Was that
We have jobs. Jobs in New York.
Wait. Oh, 30 Rock, right?
Yeah.
When Liz's boyfriend moves to
Cleveland.
Of all the places. And then comes back with a wife, right? Or a girlfriend? Yeah. Oh, asshole. That's Jason Sudeikis, right?
Indeed.
Oh, man. All of that is all just rattling around here all the time.
That's your next Rob Explains Everything.
Oh, my God. Anyway, by the way, Rob Explains Everything. Episode 1 is up. Episode 2, gonna be a while. I haven't recorded anything, and I am still sick. I was going to actually warn people up at the top. This is going to be a real Corey-heavy episode, so some of you may just want to tune out right now.
I could just mute your mic.
Just call it for the day. So Ravens.
Yes.
Ravens looking good and steaming into November with a tough Rams team, although they didn't look so tough against Pittsburgh.
These next two games are the ones that I think worry me the most.
Yeah.
The next three, I guess, because we got the Niners right after that.
Although Niners are... Oh, no, they pulled even. Okay,
they're undefeated.
Yeah.
Still as of 6 minutes left in the fourth quarter. So.
Yeah, I just don't think of Seattle as that good of a team, even though we lost to Seattle. Right?
We won to Seattle.
Did we win?
We
Seattle?
beat Seattle.
Okay, well, there you go. So
yeah. Seattle's a good team. I think San Francisco's a good team, too. I just don't think they've been, tested that much.
No, they're about to be tested right now.
Yeah.
6 minutes left in the fourth.
This is a good one to test their mettle.
Yeah.
The Ravens, I think, are in a really good position right now. The Steelers have been rallying a little bit, but I just don't think they have enough to sort of get over the Ravens unless there's some sort of epic collapse. I feel the Ravens have a 2-game lead or something on them right now, so you feel like they're not going to lose 3 games where the Steelers win 3 games. You know, there's got to be the Steelers would have to go 5-2. And the Ravens would have to go
2-5.
2-5.
Yep.
And that seems a little unlikely, but you never know.
And they play each other in that 5 games as well.
Yeah.
So
one of them counts for double, essentially.
Yep.
Yeah. But I don't know. I think the Ravens are looking really good.
See, this is the year you should have gone and put money on the Ravens.
Lamar
started.
for MVP is looking like it might be a reality.
Yeah.
Which I don't know how I feel about.
I would like to see Lamar for Madden because he looks like he's a fucking Madden character.
Please don't. Please.
You know he's going to be on the cover next year.
I don't want him to be.
Who else would be on the cover?
I don't want him to agree to that.
It's going to be him.
We should just put fun people on the cover of Madden.
People you want to see get injured.
I know, Peyton
Andrew
Hill.
Luck. NFL 20, Madden 20.
You remember what Peyton Hillis was on the cover of Madden? Because he had one really good season at the Browns.
Yeah.
Those are the people that should be on Madden. Because when he disappears the next year, it's not Madden curse. It's just no, it's the Browns.
Wasn't that good? But yeah, so a lot of exciting football left to play. We're gonna get to see some.
But you put Antonio Brown on there or Patrick Mahomes or
Patrick got injured this year too.
Yeah.
Huh.
It lives.
He's back. He's back playing now, and he'll be back for the end of the year.
But still injury.
Yeah. And Antonio Brown's not even in the league anymore.
Some of the people that they were talking about in the Madden curse had injuries that weren't severe.
Yeah, they
cost them enough weeks that it seriously impacted their team.
Yeah.
So
okay, all right.
Mahomes I think covers the Madden curse for the year, I guess.
And apparently he's got some kind of freakish problem with his knee. Not a problem, but a genetic defect that worked to his advantage with his knees. Yeah, I was reading a story that a Kansas City fan sent me. From
He's
work.
got webbed kneecaps.
He's got some kind of so seriously, it has something to do with the way his kneecap works. That when whatever happened, the kneecap popped out and slid over, which stopped it from being more severe. So they basically like popped it back in, and they're like, "All right, you're gonna do some orthopedic stuff, but nothing ripped," and that's really what we have to worry about. So, good for him.
You're a horse.
Yes, basically.
What?
Yeah, you have your legs are not supposed to bend that way.
You're
Patrick.
actually a centaur. I don't know how to tell you this, but
Oh, listen, I've known about that for a long time. That's what they used to say about me. Back when I was single.
Yeah.
Of course.
Yeah.
Not now.
Nobody talks anymore.
Nobody talks at all. I'm 30. I'm 35. Nobody talks like that. But no, my point is that the good news for the year 2020 is that football does not end in February because the XFL is picking up where it left off back in 2001, 2?
Something like that.
Yeah. And we're going to be able to see some games, but listen to all the games on AM 680. No, that's WBAL, right? Shit. Is it 1090? 1090 is ESPN radio?
No, 1090 is WBA.
Okay, so 680 then. 680 is ESPN.
1300 is
1300.
in Baltimore.
In Baltimore.
Yeah.
Not everywhere, not nationwide. But so ESPN has agreed to pick up XFL games.
I mean, I'm just assuming too. The last time I listened to ESPN radio was when Mike and Mike were still a thing. So
here, let me
I
get you
don't
back
know
in
if
the mood.
That's what radio is like. I remember.
Yeah, the background noise. I haven't listened to radio in so long. It's like the first thing I do to get in the car is like, all right, Bluetooth, Spotify, podcast. Here we go. All right, let's roll.
Quick sidebar. I remember there was a HD radio commercial that was playing all the time on ESPN radio when I was listening on the computer.
Okay, yeah.
Because like they didn't have the rights to have the same ads on the radio on the stream as they do on like live air.
Yeah.
So they would only have like 4 commercials that would play over and over again on the stream.
And like pausing until the game returns. Yeah.
I would be listening. They had this one HD radio commercial that I hated so much, where it was just this guy going like, "Hi, I'm your radio. Heard you're thinking about getting an HD radio. That wouldn't be such a great idea because you'd leave me behind. Your old-fashioned radio." And I'm just like, I hate these things so much. I don't even want an HD radio. And I remember when I went to buy the Subaru, like I asked the guy, I was just like, "Does this thing have HD radio?" And like the guy was just like, "I don't know." It's like, "I don't want it." And it's just like, "I can't take it away."
if it has it, there's nothing I can do about that. There's no way to down trim to the non-HD radio.
If you like the car, I'm afraid you're gonna have to like it with the HD radio.
I will rip it out. I will rip it out and put my own
stereo out. And then I put my own stereo in and had HD radio. Because you couldn't get it without. It was like when the TV antennas were all going to HD too. It was just like, I'll die with my rabbit ears.
Did you have the full screen in that car? In the Super
Yeah,
Bowl?
yeah.
Yeah, the touch screen.
Yeah.
That like popped open and you could stick DVDs in it. Or no, the map DVD went in it. No. What car was that?
That wasn't any of
The
mine.
QX5?
No.
Didn't it have a map?
No.
No.
I didn't have a GPS in any of my cars up until this one. And this one doesn't count because it's just Android Auto. It's not like
it's just running
I
it on
bought
the
the
screen.
GPS.
Yeah.
Like I didn't buy I never saw the purpose of it.
Of having GPS?
Yeah.
Oh, you know.
Like the computer the car company's GPS, you know?
Well, you know, Corey's late to everything. That might tell you a thing or two about that.
I mean like my dad used to have GPS in all his cars, right? So like if I was driving around in the MDX back in the day,
Ooh.
I might have the GPS up, but the problem is the maps were like 15 years old.
That's what the disc is for. You put the new disc in.
Oh, I know,
it
but I'm
updates
saying
the
like
maps.
even the update discs weren't like they were just tracked as of like 2 years beforehand because they have to like program it all.
Yeah,
so it's
yeah.
always behind. And it's just like it'd be like warning you like don't go here, that's the river. I'm like the Jones Falls has been paved over.
Oh, yeah, I was.
Still in the 40s.
I'm just thinking. Like,
there's a river there. Don't drive there.
I'm thinking about the menagerie of letters I just spit out. Yeah, Corey had a QX5, and his dad had an MDX, and like, yeah, it's nothing but
Cars.
high-end cars. Anyway, more letters. XFL. Yes. So ESPN, more letters. ESPN is going to carry the XFL on radio with limited TV showings as well. I imagine it's going to be like on ESPN 8, the Ocho. For XFL. But in any event, I'm still excited. I'm still excited to watch. I'm excited that there's going to be XFL games. I'm hoping it's not going to be like the same as a Rams ticket. Like, let's hope we can get decent tickets.
I mean, if I can get in for $20,
oh yeah,
that seems like a fair trade for me.
Yep. And then, so what? Like in the door with a beer and a hot dog for $50, you're set.
Yeah, I would. I think the problem with the XFL is going to be what makes me go there. Mm-hmm. Because, what makes me go there for a Rams game right now is they're playing the Ravens.
Okay.
Or somebody gives me tickets. If somebody was like, hey, you want to go to the Rams game this weekend? I wouldn't turn that down.
See, I'd buy tickets to the Rams.
I mean, I'd buy tickets to the Rams, but there's never a reason for me to so the Rams' fatal flaw for me is that I'm already watching football when I would have to be going to the Rams game. And then you got to spend a lot of money to go to the Rams game, and then there's the beverages inside the stadium and all that sort of stuff.
Yes, when you move to Carson, this doesn't get easier.
Yeah, I don't go like, oh, thank God they're not 10 minutes away anymore.
You're literally 10 minutes away right now, and we can barely get out the door to go see a game. But I mean, I do think that lower cost point will get me out to an XFL game. It will be at Memorial, right? No, it's going to be at Carson.
Yeah, it's going to be at the StubHub Center.
Maybe not.
What the city really needs is public transportation.
Some good public transportation would be
the problem
excellent.
is they got plenty of metro stops over by the stadium, but it's like everyone I've heard talk about it is just like there's no point in taking the metro before you have to wait an hour to be able to get into the trains because they fill up with people so quickly.
Unlike Baltimore where they run like special trains to the stadium just to pick up and then go each direction. Yeah. This is like no, normal service every 45. That's how it works. Like, okay.
Every 11 minutes, we'll send a new train. It's just like, well, there's 30,000 people here waiting for a train.
Yeah.
Maybe we can do something. No.
How about an Uber? Nope. Not going to allow that either.
I'm going to metro bike home. Just
from Carson. I'm going to wait 45 minutes for the train. Get on the train and see Corey.
The Carson one is even worse. Carson is like FedEx Field, where it's just like, there's no infrastructure to get there. Like, you just have to.
It's going to be a pain.
So Carson and the bike like the Wicked Witch.
Let's move on to another of the menagerie of letters. MLS. So Corey is a diehard fan of the LAFC.
Yes.
And you've been to how many games of the LAFC?
One.
Okay. Same one that I went to?
Yeah.
Okay. So I've been to more LAFC games than you.
To be fair, I've watched a couple on TV as well.
Oh, okay.
I watch them on the YouTube TV from time to time.
Yes. Sponsor of the LAFC, actually.
Yeah.
Right? YouTube TV. So
one reason why I won't ever buy a football jersey, though.
Why?
Like a soccer jersey.
Because it says YouTube TV across
I
the front?
don't want to fucking do that. Like, why? I just like, especially like the Galaxy. If you're a Galaxy fan, you got Herbalife across the front. Like, you just got to feel like such an idiot. Like,
no, I mean, and I gotta say that the YouTube TV is not bad, only because I work on YouTube in my day job, and I feel like, it's
I mean, like, I guess it's better if it's something that you like, a product you use. Like, if I was a
Royal Bank of Scotland customer.
Yeah, or so like Coca-Cola was across the front, I'd just be like, well, I do like Coke, but like I'd hate to think of myself as like a supporter of like West Ham, and it's just like Mr. McGarnagle's dick cream on your front or something like that. It's just like I can't imagine I would like that. Like,
LAFC switches to Pepsi as a sponsor. Corey's put in such a rough place. Oh, I like the jersey, but I can't back this. I can't be part of this. I'm sorry.
I just get what's great is like, those, like in Vegas you can buy those shirts where you can design the front. Like,
yes.
You can put Brian loves Kaylee on the front of their shirts or whatever, for like little trips. I would just get one of those things to put on the front of my LAFC jersey and just have like a gif of from Entourage, like, fuck commerce.
How about you just
it took a while, but it got there.
You just put some used glitter and have one of the girls make you a shirt that is the regular jersey that says Pepsi, but have them put, is Pepsi okay, on the front of the shirt.
Or just like what's the other one? Whenever like a player like when Miguel Tejada left the Orioles and was replaced by Adam Jones, and people would put Jones across
On the back of the
Tejada.
jersey? Yeah.
Just put across the front, like not corporate.
By the way, if you want to be entertained, go to anywhere with Corey and have the waitress be like, "Is Pepsi okay?" And he'd be like, "What else do you have? Tea? Is there tea?
I wouldn't drink that tea.
Lemonade?
Either.
What do you got?"
Yeah, usually it's just a lemonade.
Yep. Or water. Nah, I wasn't even gonna drink. I'll take a Miller Lite. I can't drink the swill that is Pepsi. Anyway, so MLS, LAFC did in fact lose. They lost to Seattle in the Western Conference Finals or something like that. Seattle went on to defend or to play Toronto in the championship and won. So at least we can say they lost to the winner.
Yeah, that doesn't make me feel better.
Well, that's just something that losers say, I think. But more importantly, the reason I really wanted to bring it up is Seattle fans are insane. And I don't care what sport it is. They're just insane. Apparently, whenever the LA or Seattle FC, I think is what it is, right? Seattle FC.
Sounders. And Toronto FC.
That's right. Whenever the Seattle Sounders got close to scoring or scored, the stadium itself was registering on the Richter scale, meaning that the USGS was getting a reading as if an earthquake was going off the stadium. Yeah. One of the things that they go through the checklist of is like, oh, we're getting a weird reading out of Seattle. Like, what's going on tonight? Like, oh, there's an MLS game. Okay, well, let's just eliminate that as a possible thing. What just happened in the game at 7:18? Oh, Sounders scored. Okay, so let's just keep an eye on that. And then every time something good happened, it was bringing up a registration on the thing. So, calm down, Seattle. All right? Yeah, yes, you're the 12th man or how many men are on the field in a football game?
I don't think they do it like that.
I think it's 11, right? So you're still the 12th man no matter what. Or the 10th man in a Mariners game.
Yeah.
Not that many people attend.
See, that's why I like the LAFC. The 3252. The supporter section right behind the goal.
Yeah, where the crazies are.
Yeah, where they're like standing and jumping and screaming.
The entire game. Yeah. Literally chanting and singing the entire game.
Yeah.
Guys, I'm too old for that. I don't have energy for that on most days, let alone today.
I was talking to somebody who has tickets in that section because like I heard like they like don't let you bring phones in and like you're really supposed to just like stay there the whole time.
Focus on the game.
Yeah. And he's just like, I mean, it's not really like that. He's like, people have their phones with them. They, they check out a little bit every once in a while, go to the bathroom, get a drink, something like that. But like, for the most part, stay there the whole time and be crazy. Like,
it's the as long as 90% of us at any given time are here, it's
singing,
fine.
Yeah.
We just all can't check out. There's no halftime. We don't all leave at any point to go do anything. Anyway, so I believe that is all we have for Sports Ball today. Now, I'm really excited to do this news splash for this episode that Corey debuted last week. What's it called?
For your consideration?
Yeah. Oh.
Yeah.
We not. Where's the news splash?
Not yet.
Oh.
Good things come to those who wait.
Okay. All right. Yeah. All right. So
I had plans, but when you trust other people to help make those plans come to life, and
who would you trust to do that?
I want to surprise you with the drop. So
okay.
I'd rather just leave it until you get a chance to see it.
Is it friend of the show Roberto?
I found him to be involved.
Completely unreliable no matter what. And also, in case he's listening to this at work again, he steals clothing from work and or buys it and lies about it. Just so that's clear. Anyway, so
for your consideration.
On to news and entertainment, as yet to be named for your consideration. Entertainment news.
Yes.
The big thing this week, of course, tomorrow, Disney Plus goes live. Mm-hmm. I already have Disney Plus. I'm waiting for the email that says, hey, apparently there's an activation code. Like I can get it on the Roku, and it's just like, what's your activation code? I'm like, I gave you my PayPal. I've already signed up. What do I have to do to get this activation code? Why don't you just let me log on without being able to see any content? Like push the content tomorrow. Mm-hmm. No. So I'm going to have to figure out what the damn code is tomorrow. But Disney Plus goes live tomorrow.
I'm looking forward to them sending out the code to everybody and then the service not working.
Yep. See, that's the thing. I'm 100% certain a bunch of people are going to try to log on.
Because they didn't, I'm sure there were some plan in their lab where they're just like, all right, let's simulate 150 million people trying to log in at the same time. Like, and in theory it works, but then in practice, this is the same thing that happened with healthcare.gov. Like, they're just like, no, it'll be fine.
Not that many people aren't going to log on at the same time. Yeah, we'll see. But it's the most of Marvel stuff is off of Netflix now. The rest of it will be leaving in January. Most of the Disney movies are off. Not that I care about that, but some people care about that.
People with kids care a lot.
Star Wars is available only on Disney Plus, and The Mandalorian, I don't think drops in its entirety, but I think they're doing like 3 episodes.
They're doing a weekly, I think.
Yeah, but I think they're giving like the first 2 or 3 up front.
Yeah.
So I'm and you don't give a shit about Star Wars at all, but no. I am excited to see The Mandalorian. And I have a fear, kind of what we talked about last week, that they're so worried about it being intertwined with the universe that I'm not going to like it. Like, I like the concept of the story and the character, but I think it's going to be like, hey, look who shows up this week. I'm like,
Princess Leia.
Yeah, like, I don't know. Maybe they'll de-age her and put her in there. Who knows? Which is another time. We'll get to in a second. Yeah. Also, Apple TV is now available. It
is out, right? Like,
yes, Apple TV's out. But it's now available on Roku, which apparently I missed, but apparently it was back in late October. Like October 20th, they made it available on Roku. And this is the kind of the conversation we got into at the beginning or in the pre-show discussion. Just there's like 1 or 2 shows I want to see on Disney Plus. I mean, as well as like the catalog of Star Wars and Marvel that we can't see anywhere else. There's 1 or 2 shows I want to see on Apple TV, but I don't know what else they're going to have in the catalog. So I'm literally paying for these services for 1 show. And at some point, well, I'm not paying for Apple TV, but at some point, it's just going to become too much. I mean, I'm paying more for my a la carte service than I paid for cable the last time I had cable, because I'm also paying for cable to get internet.
I don't know where I stand on. I think Disney is going to figure out some sort of way to stay around long enough to be a winner in the end of this all. It's just like there's too much money in Disney.
I mean, what they could just dump $10 billion a year and still be fine.
Yeah, I mean, like, it's one of those things, like, I'm sure they could convince shareholders that, yes, they're losing a lot of money now, but eventually.
Loss leader.
Yeah.
Yeah, listen, when Netflix goes under and Amazon, we push Amazon so that they won't be able to afford to play this game anymore.
Yeah.
It'll be us and Apple, the latecomers in, who are going to push everyone else out. And don't you want to be a part of that? Don't you want Disney to be the streaming platform?
Yeah. I just don't imagine that Apple... See, everything I've heard about the Apple TV launch since it started has always been about, like, Apple wants to make sure that all of its content is okay for Apple. Like, they're going to judge whether or not content would be acceptable for the viewer or the people who buy iPhones and iPads and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And I just don't, like, as much as Apple as a company has really figured out their niche as far as, like, the type of customer who buys Apple products, I don't think they really know who their customers are at the same time, because they always make the same mistake over and over again, where they're just like, well, we know we're going to fix the content so it's more pleasing to our people. And then it's just like you're taking the ball out of the hand of the people who know what they're doing.
Yeah. I mean, Amazon had...
Like, it feels like, if there was another Breaking Bad, Apple would pass on it.
Yeah.
And say, like, no, it doesn't fit with our business ethos. Yeah. But then they're passing on the potential Breaking Bad.
Yeah.
Breaking Bad, like, saved AMC. Like,
Amazon's had so much success with, like, we're going to spread a bunch of money amongst a bunch of pilots, let you watch all of them. You tell us what goes to series. And not that they necessarily listen to us because it's secret voting and who knows, but, like, that Aaron Paul show. Maybe it's not Aaron Paul. It's not Aaron Paul. It's the one where Sneaky Pete.
Yeah.
Which is it's Giovanni Ribisi.
Yeah. But produced by Bryan Cranston.
That's what it is. Produced by Bryan Cranston. And he appears in it in a couple episodes. But, like, that is probably a show that doesn't get picked up anywhere. But they put the pilot on at this little Amazon pilot season. People love it. And they're like, oh, well, we would never have done this. But apparently people want this show. So let's do it. The Tick, by the way. The Tick, which was an amazing show in the 90s.
They did the same thing with the Z, right?
Z. So Z got a short run based on that Prime, but then they got the full season and the second season based on that short run.
Yeah,
so
yeah.
I think they did like 3 or 4 based on the pilot being in the Prime week or whatever.
I mean,
Sneaky Pete got a full first season based on that.
The advantage that Disney has right now, obviously, is content.
Yeah.
They own everything. So, I mean, eventually, as rights go back to play, you know, like right now, Netflix has some contract on some Disney property that'll take them through 2022 or something like that.
Yeah.
But eventually, all these contracts run out.
All back
and
to
they
Disney.
all come back to Disney. And the market is too saturated. It's feeling like it's already going to be too saturated, and it's a matter of like what ones fall off and at what point they fall off. I would not give a lot of credence to like a Peacock or CBS All Access or any of these that are trying to compete with like no library of shows, like other than the ones that are currently on NBC and CBS, which is a free television network that anyone can get.
And I mean, like, I know maybe Hulu's is going to lose out on content, but NBC is an investor in Hulu. So I can't imagine that they're going to back out their, hey, this was on TV yesterday, you missed it, watch it on Hulu. They're not going to take that away and put it on Peacock. Peacock's going to be the catalog, right? Like,
I mean, honestly, I don't get why, if I was NBC or CBS, I would be making these things for free.
Yeah.
I would be, because at the end of the day, I put it behind a delay as far as like the live programming goes. Yeah. But like when I started watching This Is Us, wasn't when it launched. No. I didn't know if that show was going to be good.
No.
I started watching it like halfway through the first season, but I caught up on NBC streaming and stuff like that.
Hulu.
Yeah, we caught up on Hulu.
Caught up on Hulu.
Yeah. So if the NBC app is available and I can watch all the NBC shows on it, other than, you know, like, and I don't watch any of the 3 most recent episodes or something like that, then, you know, that makes a lot of sense to me. But like,
and that's what FXX does.
Yeah.
Everything's available on the app for free, except for the most recent 2, I think. So if you want to wait and watch it there, you have to wait 2 weeks behind, or maybe it is 3 weeks behind. And it's like, oh, so I don't know exactly what they're talking about. Or maybe I say, you know what, I'm going to skip and watch this week's because I just want to know. And then I'll catch up on what I missed.
But I mean, like, there's shows that I watch 10 minutes of.
Yeah.
Where I'm just like, I'll put on this new Netflix show that I don't know if it's going to be interesting or not, but I'll turn it on.
Yep.
And I watch 10 minutes and I'm just like, not for me. And like, you can pretty much tell if something's like not going to work out for you. Like, you know, it might not be like, you know, if it's something like, oh, I got to see where this goes, I'll keep watching. But I'm saying like, there's a lot of things where I just watch and I'm just like, nope, not for me. Bam, gone. You know, like, I don't know.
I do think that Disney has an advantage. Apple, I think, is just going to shoot themselves in the face. The problem is they have all the money in the world to continue with a failed program. Mm-hmm. And Disney has that as well, but Disney's got the content to back it up. Amazon kind of has that as well. And I feel like in the end, it's going to be those 3. Like Netflix can't continue to deficit spend the way that they are. Eventually, the money runs out. Hulu is already owned mostly by Disney now that they have Fox and NBC and ABC, which was Disney's share of it. Like, I just think in the end there's going to be a limit.
Yeah.
And there's also a limit to my wallet. And again, I'm hitting up close to like $70 or $80 a month.
Yeah.
Before I even talk about the internet access that I'm watching the
right.
thing on. So like, I don't know. There has to be a give moment. And I think we're slowly but surely coming up on that. Will I get a free year of Apple TV? Will I renew after that? I seriously doubt it.
Something tells me that the person who figures out the way to bridge between apps the best is going to be the one who's in the position to win easiest.
Yeah.
So I mean, like, if this would work really well if Apple TV was as popular as Roku.
Yeah.
But like hypothetically, let's just live in that universe where Roku. I think Roku's like, you know, 50% of the market share essentially of all these streamer capable devices, you know,
and devices, but not content because they're not producing their own content.
Well, they do produce their own content, but it's not like on the same level as like Amazon does with the Fire TV stick and stuff like that. But the idea being that, like, you know, if you were on the Apple TV and you could just say like, you know, Bosch, it would just direct you automatically to Bosch. Like it would know, okay, that's on Amazon. Okay, I'm going to start playing it. Okay, he was left off on this episode. Play. And then be able to go to all the Apple TV content as well. The problem is that, like, you know, if you're so at some point it means these services have to play well with one another.
Yeah.
And that's where the dividing line is going to be. Whoever makes it easiest to get the most content without having to think about it is going to be the winner, I think.
And this may end up being a blockbuster Netflix thing where whoever grows bigger faster will end up buying the other. But I feel like Roku will either buy some content producer like Netflix, or Netflix will, or Amazon. Well, not Amazon because they have a computer. But like, so I'm trying to think. So Apple has Apple TV, Amazon has the Fire Stick, Disney doesn't have a device. So maybe Disney is the one who ends up like buying Roku as a device provider for Disney Plus.
And I mean they could sync. I mean, like, you know, the best Apple would probably be best equipped to do that sort of thing.
Yeah,
just because they were able to bring all that money back to America when Trump released everyone's foreign assets for free, essentially, as long as they spend the money.
Thanks. Trump.
I mean, I guess they could buy Roku.
Yeah. But they it might turn into a Google Nest situation then, where like Google buys Nest and it's like, this is no longer a Nest Hub, it's a Google Home Hub. No. And then some of the boxes say Google Nest Hub, some of them say Google Home Hub, some of them say Nest Hub still with a sticker on it that says now a product of Google. Like I was in Best Buy yesterday and it's just like this one rack of hubs had 4 different styles of boxes where it's like, we're working our way through this process. We'll figure out a name for this motherfucker.
One of these days.
So, but like the older Nest had the sticker that's like now a product of Google. And then eventually it worked its way to it was the Google Home Hub.
Yeah.
Formerly Nest.
Yeah.
So, yeah. We'll see. But in any event, for those who are writing and want to produce content, there's never been a better time. And maybe we are at the height of that, and eventually that bubble will burst.
Well, I mean, I feel like the bubble bursting is not the appetite for the content.
No.
That is going to continue.
It's the money to produce the content.
Well, I mean, yes, but I'm saying like it never has the product of America, which is entertainment, basically, been more valuable. Like there is more content being made now than ever before, even in terms of like networks weren't putting out as much content as Netflix is in a year.
Yeah.
You know, and to compete, Apple's going to have to do the same. Amazon's going to have to do the same. Disney Plus is going to have to do the same. They're all going to have to create and diversified content too, because on Netflix, a cheap show can still get a lot of something that has no stars and no known cast.
Dear White People was nobody knew that cast beforehand, and they made it for like cheaper than network TV.
And I mean, like, at least that one had the advantage of the movie beforehand.
Yeah,
which sort of like set up the universe for,
which they didn't pay for.
Well, yeah, but I'm saying like the idea being that like, you know, Disney is at some point going to release some, you know, like a series that they put, you know, no money into, compared to like what they're putting into the Mandalorian.
Yes,
you know,
1/10
the cost of the Mandalorian.
Star Wars movie.
And
at half hour each,
and it'll be fine. And the problem is really at what point do people like not want to sign up for another service?
Yeah.
And how many services make the cut for your average American?
And like you pointed out, with Amazon, I get free shipping. I get Amazon Music. I get Amazon. It's music and video plus the TV.
Mm-hmm.
I can get Audible.
Yeah.
For like a small like $1.99 uptick.
Mm-hmm.
I can get Fresh for
free
a small.
now.
Is it free?
Yeah.
So Fresh is free as well. So like, not only do I get the content on TV, but I get a bunch of services, and no one can compete with that. I mean, Disney maybe by saying, hey, we can't offer you anything else except for, if you have been a Disney Plus subscriber for a year, we'll give you 20% off a ticket to Disney World, which
I don't think they would do either.
It's a $200 value. I don't think they're going to do that.
I ain't trying to give away that for free.
And also, that's how they're paying for the content with... one day at Disney World is literally like $117 with the California locals pass or whatever.
Yeah.
I do not understand why people go there still.
Well, you know, Rachel described it to me a lot like I described going to Oriole Park.
Okay.
There's nothing intrinsically magical about Oriole Park.
Yeah.
Like there, you know, like it's still bricks and concrete and stuff like that, you know?
Grass.
But it's the like when you walk in there and like you see the field, you have that like, oh, I'm home. I feel comfortable. I like this place. I remember when I was over there and I saw this big moment. I remember being over there and like, you know, we were talking about this really important thing but you know, the memories swell back and you're just like the happiness.
Yeah.
That's sort of for people who like Disney, that's sort of the same feeling. You walk in and like as soon as you hit Main Street, you're just like, oh, it's all hitting me now.
Except
you
for
know?
we went to Oriole Park 35 times between opening day and August the 15th one year. I don't think she's been to Disney World 35 times in her life.
No, but the other things that like,
I guess Disney, like I see Disney characters, and that makes me feel some kind of way.
You could have the same sort of, you know, like I've only been to Fenway Park once.
Yeah.
But the first time I walked into Fenway and I walked in, saw the field and everything like that, it's the same sort of moment of like, oh, this is a historical place, and this is a place I've been seeing a lot.
And I bet
it's like, you know, like that one experience at Fenway, I'm sure feels a lot like somebody's one experience at Disneyland where they're like, I know Goofy. I've seen him before.
You get the same sentiment. You're like, wow, this place was built by racists and probably Nazis, whether it's Fenway or Disney. Walt Disney was a Nazi. Yeah, Nazi sympathizer and supporter. He was.
And please, everyone, listen to the new season of You Must Remember This.
Oh, yes.
That's
Oh,
wonderful.
my God. Huge racist. By the way, I never realized.
I was like, I remember like Roberto like talking to me about like, do you want to watch what was the one about the woman who wrote Mary Poppins where Tom Hanks plays Disney?
No idea. The movie itself?
Yeah, I can't remember offhand. But Saving Mrs. Banks or something like that.
Banks. Yeah, something about Mrs. Banks.
And he was just like, why don't you want to watch this? And I'm just like, because there's no way that this movie is anywhere close to what, you know, like, because like Disney had a very public, like, hi kids. Like,
yeah.
And then there was the awful yelling at everyone person.
And being like, no. Song of the South, greenlit. I don't care. What, war's in the way? All right, pause until the war's over, and then we're going to do Song of the South. Which, but have you been on Splash Mountain?
Yeah.
I had no idea. Spoiler alert for those who want to listen to the podcast, but I could never place where those characters were from.
Yeah.
And then as soon as she said that, I'm like, fuck me, they are from Song of the South. The Three Crows, especially. That always reminds me. Anyway. So yeah, more in before we run out of time here. More for your consideration.
Yes.
Would this podcast be better if we could replace this Corey with a CGI version of himself?
One not so horrifically ugly to look at.
I would say that probably it might
one
be better.
That looks more like the Beauty and less like the Beast.
It would be a lot easier for both of us if we could just CGI us at 22 having these conversations at Hofstra onto this podcast. And, you know, he said you have to do 14 sentences and the computer can build your...
Yeah.
I feel like we should look into that. I don't know how expensive it is, but we should look into it.
I thought the other day when I was watching Adobe Max, which is like Adobe's annual press conference to announce all the changes that they're making to all the programs. Mm-hmm. I was like watching it and I'm just like, you know what we should do one week? I think it'd be fun. We should make characters and then animate Rob and I like doing the podcast, but then just have the character animations instead. And I think that'd be fun. And then I'm just like, I thought about it for another 10 seconds. I'm like, I don't want to fucking do that.
That is so much work.
I don't want to do that.
All right, so here's what we can do. Let's borrow people who we know.
Well, because it's like, I remember talking to the person at NAB about like the character that he was like talking to Pinocchio.
Yeah.
And he was just like, we did that in like 20 minutes with a Surface. And
I'm sure it's easy.
Sold.
Alternative plan. We borrow iPhones from people and we Skype in, and then I'll use OBS to take the two Skypes and we'll do the little panda face and tiger face that's available on the iPhone, which is like the only reason to get an iPhone because everything else about this Pixel is superior to the iPhone.
It's got a headphone jack and everything.
See that? Good look. Go find that somewhere else, ladies and germs. Wait, where is it? Right there. Yeah, 3.5 millimeter jack. Go find that. Although, by the way, I finally gave in and got a pair of Bluetooth headphones.
Oh, good.
We're going to try it. We're going to try them.
Trust me, it's gonna make your life easier. I will say this for all the people who are listening to like me and Rob talk like grandpas about our 3.5 millimeter jack. I will say this: 99% of the time, I'm listening to something on my phone. It's through a pair of Bluetooth headphones.
Yeah.
Because it's just so much easier, and I can just like throw this in my backpack or something like that, and I don't need to worry about like having it like close enough for the cord to work, and all of that. But when I really need that jack, it comes in handy.
Yeah. Like the fact that I can
and I would never have like the adapter. I just would never have that around. Like
that's when people are like, "Oh, where comes an adapter?" I will lose that in the first 5 minutes of having that.
Not only would I lose that, but the one time where I would really need a wired pair of headphones is going to be the time where I'm like, like I took the metro to Hollywood and I'm out trying to get lunch or something like that, and my Bluetooth headphones die.
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh, fuck, I have a wired pair right here, but I have no
adapter.
Like, where's my adapter?
Oh, it's at home.
So now I'm going to Best Buy and buying this $20 adapter.
The better thing about this, though, is that this is a in and out jack, so I can do things like plug the lav into this and use this as a recorder, a voice recorder as well, and record myself doing, episodes of other things like Rob Explains Everything and the movie reviews. Anyway.
Yes.
So the reason we started down this path is it was announced that James Dean will be rising from the grave to play a secondary lead in a Vietnam-era movie, which, by the way, I think you will see no matter what, because you know what the concept of the movie is?
What?
The U.S. tried to leave like 40,000 service dogs in Vietnam, and this guy, Rogan, was part of a plan to get those dogs home.
Okay.
So I can already see you tearing up at the thought of like 40,000 service dogs being left on a dock and one guy being like, when I said no man left behind, I meant man's best friend too.
I will probably say it just out of the curiosity of it.
Yeah.
To be honest. And I think that, good on the filmmaker because we're talking about it. I think that's exactly what they wanted. So
yeah. So it turns out not actually James Dean. They just go with the character, the guy who is going to play his voice. And
this is the porn
be him
star
in the
James
green.
Dean.
Oh, plot twist.
Wait, you thought we were talking about Rebel Without a Cause, James Dean?
Why would we bring him back? No, we have this guy.
No, Big Dick Charlie over here is trying to get into legitimate acting. I didn't know you knew.
But yeah, so
I see why so many people were asking us questions about it.
Now it makes sense. I get it. But so
usually people don't get that many questions over a porn star joining their film.
The story is that James Dean, who died at the age of 24 after doing 3 movies: East of Eden, Rebel Without a Cause, and there's a third one.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about. Yeah.
Anyway, they have apparently used archival footage to build a full CGI of him, and they're going to have somebody else do the voice because the audio quality wasn't good enough to pull a voice for him. But he'll be playing the second lead in this movie about somebody from Vietnam, or a soldier in Vietnam who saves a bunch of military dogs, or tries to save. I actually don't know the story, whether or not they save them or not. I think it would be even better.
They all died.
It would be even better for me to watch Corey cry as they do sail away, leaving all those dogs on the pier.
Boat floating away. No!
One dog jumps off, starts paddling toward it. Corey's like, "Kid, just let him in the boat."
You can make it, Kibbles.
And they watch him drown. Yeah, that'd be super funny. And then like a tear down CGI James Dean's face. But nonetheless, so he's going
flash forward to Corey Baker film podcast or movie review podcast.
Animals, how dare you?
I give it a 9.
2 stars.
I give it a 9.9. I'd give it a 10, but a dog died.
So, I mean, listen, when you're talking in the pre-show meeting, we've seen young Will Smith in I've seen young Will Smith in Gemini Man.
Yeah.
You didn't see that. We've seen some de-aging, both in Marvel movies and soon to be in The Irishman.
And Scorsese.
Yeah.
Nice little tie between those two again.
I guess we'll see. I mean, all the way back to Grand Moff Tarkin, which you didn't see in Rogue One, which was light years behind where we are now. We've just jumped forward in technology. So Leia's apparently going to appear in this next Star Wars movie, even though she died before being able to film all of the parts. They're basically going to fill. And I think it's going to be interesting to see if you can see where they filled. Because obviously they don't shoot movies in order. So it may be like the real Carrie.
What?
What's her name? Sorry, Carrie
Fisher.
at the end, and then in the middle there's a little bit of CGI. Who knows? But
I think that what we're going to end up with here is this process is going to get cheaper and easier to do.
yeah,
And more people are going to want to do it. And I can see why you would be interested in bringing back a famous name to play a role in your upcoming movie. But
because then two schmucks talk about it on a podcast.
But part of the reason why acting is kind of safe from like a complete CGI takeover is because at some point you do need like human choices, like as far as like how a face moves and how you react to things. And rather than hiring an actor who is able to come up with these things and create that presence that you feel on screen, you're going to have a director making decisions of how the actor is supposed to.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, like there's a push and pull between actors and directors where I'm sure there's some directors who would like to be able to just sit down in front of an actor and be like, you sit in the chair, you look over slowly, you say the line exactly like this, and then when they say this, you look horrified and you walk out of the room. Like, basically tell them how they would want their, like a waiter telling you how I want my meal. Like, this is how I want my performance. But really, like what you need to do is you need to give them space to be able to create that thing. So you sort of talk them through what you want them to do without saying it directly. So instead of saying like, sit here and say this line like this, and then when he says this, you react and then you walk out, you would be saying the conversation like, all right, so this is a really an emotional moment. For the purposes of the camera, we want you to be lower than him. We want him to have physical dominance over you. So he's going to be standing over top and you need to be sitting in the chair. And when you deliver the line, just think about, the child that you just lost and how that impacts.
Keep in mind, this is the order of shooting. This is what we just are seeing leading into this. Even though we haven't shot that yet. And this thing is about to go when you react and leave the room. And then that thing we shot last week.
When he says this line, that's the straw that broke the camel's back. You're done. You need to leave immediately. I want to see the reaction in your face that moment has happened, and then I want you to leave. Yeah. And that's the way of telling an actor, putting them in the space where they can create all the parts in between. Yeah. While still giving them sort of like direct actions to do. Also,
by not hiring bad actors, that's also a good.
Well, yeah. I mean, like, if you hire great actors, it solves a lot of your problems. Yeah. That's how I felt about Jojo Rabbit. I was just like, hire great kid actors, and you don't really have to worry so much about your movie.
And I showed some people Heretics, and not so hot about the actor from the second episode. But the third episode, people were really enjoying.
When the pros got in, it was a lot better. Yeah,
the innocence of Felicia and the psycho, just in the eyes, the crazy eyes. But yeah, get good people around you, and it works. But in the absence of good people, because apparently the director said he searched high and low and could find no other person to do this role except for dead James Dean at 24. So the family gave their blessing, and now they're going to do it. So we'll see. But I think that this technology reached its pinnacle back, you may not remember this, back in like 2006 or 2007, there was a Keanu Reeves movie where they shot the whole movie, and then they put like an animated layer over top of it. And I don't remember the name of the movie. This may be a Mandela effect thing where it doesn't exist, because while we were talking outside, I tried to find it and I could not find it. Yeah. But do you know what movie I'm talking about?
No.
I swear to you, this thing exists. It's Keanu Reeves amongst other stars, and they shot the whole movie. Then they took the film, it probably wasn't film, but the digital film, and overlaid like animation on top of it. So you see Keanu, you see him reacting, but it looks like it was drawn. The entire thing looks drawn.
Wow.
It's like Heavy Rain, something about rain, maybe.
For a second there, I thought you were talking about Freaked, but that wouldn't be the same. No. Yeah.
That
wasn't like cartoony. That was just
I'm gonna find it. I'm gonna post it.
That was just a great Keanu Reeves movie.
Yes. But I'm gonna find
12 milkmen.
I'm pretty sure.
While
it exists.
unlikely is still possible. 13 milkmen is just a joke.
Pretty sure it exists. I'm gonna find it. But I still will go see this movie. Honestly, if nothing else, I don't really care about the dogs or the Vietnam, but just to see James Dean CGI. So.
I mean, the thing, if it works for the movie, then I'm fine with whatever you choose to do.
Yeah.
There's a thing in like independent cinema now. Like if you're thinking about making your own movie, think about putting it in a place that you have rights to. And try and set the entire movie there.
Yeah.
Like Parasite worked great for this because like 90% of the movie takes place in this really nice house that I'm sure they just like, it was Bong Joon-ho's house or something like that. Like they just.
Or they shot it in like a week and a half when somebody went on vacation.
Or a month or whatever. Like you just like.
Oh no.
Wow. That was terrible.
49ers could not get it done in OT. Just bungled the kick.
I wonder if it was blocked, though. It looked like it was hit.
It might
there.
have been blocked.
Yeah.
Or he just tried way too hard and forced that.
Anywho.
Live reaction.
But that was as far as like making the movie as cheap as humanly possible, that was great because it allowed, it was just a horrible miss.
Fucking really missed it. Good grief. Yeah, he just tried too hard. It was 47-yard kick, and he just put too much in it and hooked it way, way, way left.
Anywho.
Whew, man.
For those of who in the live stream.
Just very exciting and very like tragic because like, as soon as he kicked it, you could see in his face. He's like, well, fuck that one up. All right.
Well, my life's over.
Yeah. Looking for a new job on Monday.
It was like when the head coach is just like,
son of a bitch. And Seattle gets the ball back. Anyway, so Parasite.
Yes. So, it works. Like the idea that they had worked for the one location kind of thing. For a lot of people, like they can't figure out how to make a compelling one location movie.
Yeah.
Like it just seems like a constraint that is just too much to overcome. Mm-hmm. If you need James Dean, if it needs to be James Dean and it works for some reason in the movie, I'm okay with you doing it.
Yeah.
I think the problem that we're going to reach is not about, like trying to save a Fast and the Furious movie where 50% of Paul Walker's scenes were shot and how are we going to get to the end without making this completely incomprehensible, which, I mean, like Fast and the Furious movie doesn't really matter, but I mean, like we could have just skipped ahead and it's just like Brian had a baby and it would have been fine.
He's not going to be around anymore.
He's not going to be around anymore. He had a baby all of a sudden.
Yeah.
Himself.
Gay bird.
Squirted it out of his dick. Vin, there's a better way of saying that.
But yeah, I'm going to really need to see, though, that this had to be James Dean. That's my thing.
I mean, yeah. But where I'm worried about this, the technology in general, is that you're putting things in just to either A, get people to talk about it, which might be the situation in this movie where it's just like, we're going to have James Dean in this movie because everyone's going to talk about James Dean. Or the more bothersome one that I think is coming in the future is the ability to digitally manipulate actors and actresses to make them fit some sort of body constraint or something like that where they're
it's like Photoshop, video Photoshop.
Yeah, I mean, like, oh, Melissa McCarthy is really funny, but she's fat and she doesn't really fit for this role. Mm-hmm. We wanted a skinny knockout in this movie. So we'll take Melissa McCarthy and we'll put cameras all over her face so we can mimic her reactions, but we're going to put her inside of Pam Anderson from 1990s body.
Okay.
And that'll fix the problem that we had of
Didn't
not
know where
having,
you were going with that. I was like, Pam
having,
Anderson's a bit of a train wreck right now, too. I don't really know if that's the one you want to go with. But.
Way back when everyone was just like, oh, Pam Anderson.
Tommy Lee video of Pam Anderson. Yes. Plenty of video of her around that time. Would be easy to build that model.
I'm saying the worry is that when this just becomes about like, wow, this actress needs she's a little too fluffy in the middle. We got to cut this down. There's no way.
And as you pointed out, this is going to be an issue with talent.
Or removing the mole on De Niro or something like that. Just like, I love this performance, but I hate the fucking mole. Like,
this is going to be a talent issue. Like, will you take this job if it means that they change who you are as a person or how you look as a person?
Yeah.
And having SAG-AFTRA, the whole point that their reason for their existence is to defend their membership and say, no, you hired Melissa McCarthy. you need to have Melissa McCarthy in your movie.
Yeah.
Now, if she agrees to be digitally de-aged so that she can be, we're going to put her in the
15.
body of a 15-year-old.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're going to find a girl who looks exactly like her, only the 15-year-old, the Deb from Stranger Things.
Yeah.
We're going to put her face on Deb, the actress, but I'm not going to put her face on a skinny 15-year-old and then also put her face on a skinny 35, 40-year-old.
Yeah.
Just so that she's skinny in this movie, but you get the humor of her.
Right.
If you want the actress, you got to pay for the actress. And you have to have the actress in your movie. But if they don't do that, because SAG-AFTRA is not really a super strong union, maybe the actors should join the Writers Guild, because that's a really fucking strong union who shuts this fucking town down every 7 years.
I don't imagine that we're going to get a straight up and down from the Screen Actors Guild, just because some of their memberships just want the ability to get the money.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah.
I mean, Corey Feldman's not going to give a shit what you put. Like, if you're paying him, he'll gladly do whatever you want him.
There is a joke, non-joke going around right now about having Macaulay Culkin do another Home Alone movie.
Yeah.
Where he's just a dysfunctional millennial and he can't get by without his parents in the house. And I first read it and I thought it was an Onion article, but it's not. That is actually one of the things they're pushing. And I'm like, okay, so like they're going to de-age him down?
About that.
No, he's just going to be a kid in an adult who just can't function without his mom.
Yeah.
This town. Anyway, we have a little bit of politics. You want to lightning around the politics?
Yeah.
Okay, lightning round through. So, update for all of you. We are 52 weeks away from the 2020 election. You should be terrified because once again, it looks like it's turning into a choice between a giant douche and a turd sandwich. Although, really, that's American politics for you.
They're all giant douches and turd sandwiches.
That's it. More importantly, at 100 days from New Hampshire, 100 days from Iowa. No, New Hampshire.
Yeah.
New Hampshire is the first.
No, Iowa.
Is it Iowa?
Iowa.
But I thought it was from the first.
Oh, are we talking about primary?
Primary, yeah.
Primary, yes.
Yes.
Iowa's a caucus.
Yes. So 100 days from the first primary, Joe Biden still in the lead, despite trying his damnedest to ruin his own campaign as he has for the last, check it, 4 decades. The last 4 decades he has run for president, and he has ruined his campaign in all 4 of them, and now he's trying to do it again. But he's still leading 100 days out. Something interesting you brought up that I didn't see in the pre-show is that pollsters are finally being smart and they're doing state polling instead of just looking at national polling.
Yeah.
And they're saying, Sanders is up 10 points on Trump nationally. We know that does not matter.
Yeah.
Because this point,
newsflash, Hillary won. Hillary won the popular vote.
She was way up at this point too. They were
Yeah.
saying like she's 20 points up on Trump leading into coming into New Hampshire. Against Bernie, where, by the way, I think Bernie had a strong showing. It's in Iowa, and he won either South Carolina or New Hampshire.
He won New Hampshire.
New Hampshire. So, despite being 20 points up on Trump, she couldn't beat Sanders in New Hampshire. But the scary thing is that if you do the battleground polling, that no one is polling that far ahead of Trump.
No,
Biden,
and in all the battleground states, a recent poll was done with some of the top Democratic front runners. Biden is the only one who has polls that are beating Trump on average, usually by about 2 points. But that's the margin of error.
That's the margin of error. So it's statistically tied is what we would call that.
Yeah. Bernie is basically running neck and neck with Trump in these states, and then Warren is about 2 points down across the board.
So that is a statistical tie across all 3 candidates.
No other Democrat is worth discussing in terms of where they line up. Also, because I don't think people are realistically thinking of any other candidate as possibly the nominee until we get to the point where they've won or are close to it.
I know Pete comes out and takes
it would be
second
really
in New Hampshire.
interesting to get people's polling in those states on Pete Buttigieg after he's already won the nomination, because I think that would change a lot.
Oh yeah, no. I mean, I think if he finishes strong in Iowa and New Hampshire, and now they're like, oh wait, Pete Buttigieg searches go up nationwide, and now in Wisconsin they're like, whoa, this dude's from Indiana, and he's like a kind of conservative Democrat. I mean, he's gay, but also a veteran. I'm weighing out the things I hate versus the things I love, and yeah, sure, I'd vote for him over Trump.
Pro, he's a veteran. Con, he wants pink uniforms.
Yeah, very weird, very weird. You think that wouldn't work with camouflage?
Pete writes a 15,000 word op-ed where he's just like, I don't want pink uniforms.
I don't know who said that.
I don't know who put that out in the universe, but
I think you guys are quoting from an Onion article. That's not a thing I would ever do. I understand the importance of camouflage. It's important.
New York Times reaches out to Pete Buttigieg. It's like, you want to write 15,000 words on this pink army uniform story? It's just like, I'll write you an article. He sends it back, and it's just 4 words long, and it's just like, no pink uniforms.
You know what? I'm getting behind this guy. I'm getting behind this guy slowly but surely. Yeah. But I mean, I think the other thing is that is they rate Trump support by assumed Trump voters.
Yeah.
And that doesn't mean that Trump, by the time we get to November 2020, is going to be in the place where he's going to get those voters out to the polls. And you may actually have people actively saying, do not vote for Trump for president. Don't vote for the Democrat either. Maybe it's time to stay home. Let's sit this one out.
See, I think the Trump people are going to show up regardless. The problem is that, especially with all this impeachment nonsense, it's getting harder and harder to have conversation. I mean, like the echo chamber that's going on with the like what people are hearing on Fox News about this whole thing is amazing to me.
Yeah,
it's just like I was having a conversation with somebody who only watches Fox News and has no idea about half the things. It was just like, well,
yeah.
Bill Taylor just testified that there was a clear quid pro quo, like where it was like, we're holding off the funds until they agree to do the investigation. It's just like,
no,
wait,
they didn't.
That happened?
Yeah.
And I'm just like, yes. Like, what do you need to? Where are you getting your news? Oh, yes,
Fox
of course,
that's right. Yeah.
Of course.
So speaking of that, impeachment. I'm going to call our impeachment part of the episodes from here on out, why is everyone so dumb? But I'm sure that'll get proven as time goes along. Impeachment starts this week. The actual hearings start this week.
Mm-hmm.
To be clear, this is not a trial. This is more akin to the grand jury proceedings, except for not private, very public, very much out in the open.
Yeah.
And Trump's going to get to watch it all. And he will get to react, and he'll get to send his own witnesses if he wants. My guess is he won't.
To me, the Democrats are dumb for not forcing some of these people to testify.
Yeah. Well, and we'll see. They might still. I mean, they could call anyone they want.
I don't get why Rick Mulvaney isn't like on the stand in front of.
Oh, so he got called, but he's suing in order to.
Oh, I know, but I'm
it.
saying like at some point, just flash forwarding in the mind of the Democrat, I can see how they're just like, we don't need them. We don't need to put up Trump cabinet people to show that we don't want to make this look like a partisan witch hunt. Like they're saying, like they're so scared about like what the Republicans are going to say if they drag like the chief of staff up there. But like, honestly, he was on the fucking call. Like, get him up.
I'm hoping it turns into a Mueller investigation situation where they are saying like, okay, we're going to bring up these guys. These guys are going to name some guys. And then whatever you were going to tell that judge in order to not testify, we're going to be able to point to this and say, well, that guy back there said you were on the call and that you said this.
Yeah.
So either we're going to accept that as your testimony or you can come up and refute that. Well, I mean, I didn't say that. Okay, well, come up and refute it then. That's it. That's the only option you get. But once you're on the stand, now we get to ask you a bunch of other things. And when you lie, which inevitably they will, then we'll bring somebody else up to show you're lying, and now you have contempt of Congress. And maybe you're up for impeachment yourself. Or you just have to step down. Either way, the overarching theme, why is everyone so dumb? And that'll continue for the next few weeks.
I mean, the one that just... if you tell the story exactly as it happens, like without any kind of like, like deep state, like they're all part of this secret cabal of people who are trying to get at Trump. If you just put all that stuff aside and just look at like what happened on this actual call and like what followed it up, it's.
There is no question.
If I told a Trump supporter that Obama did this, Obama called Ukraine to congratulate the president's election, but in doing so, he said, "Hey, listen, I know you're owed some money, but I'm not going to give it up to you until you do a public investigation into what George W. Bush did during the war, and I won't find this money will be released until that point, and then finally you can get that money." Like if that story came out. Just that much of it. Obama would have been impeached by the end of the day. Like,
Well, but it wouldn't have made it this far. He would not have made it to this
Yeah.
because any number of these things Obama had done, he would have already undergone impeachment proceedings. It would be the continuing impeachment proceedings where, Mr. Speaker, we're going to add another charge. This will be charge number 473 and 474 to the indictment.
They tried to move the call log to a secret server on the day, and this call happened the day after we just got done with the Benghazi investigation. You'd think they would know better.
That's attempting to destroy evidence. That would be 474, and attempting to corrupt witnesses. That'd be 475. Thank you, Mr. Speaker. And the hearings would proceed. And it would be a situation where it's like, let's just forward the first 300 to the Senate. Let them start. We're going to keep working on the indictment over here. Let's keep going on this. But again,
there is not a chance that if some Trump supporter you're friends with didn't know about what was going on with this Ukraine call, and you said Obama did it, that he wouldn't immediately start going like, well, that's why he's the worst president we've ever had, and why he needs to be in jail forever.
Yep.
With all the people who killed Epstein and blah, like, I love, by the way, everyone with their killing Epstein didn't kill himself memes.
Yes.
Chef's kiss. I love them all.
Keep it up.
My favorite. Did I show you my favorite with the Courtney Love and Kurt Cobain?
Oh, yes. You didn't show me, but I have seen that one. Yeah. And by the way, it's one of those things where we as a society have reached a point where we're all pretty much, it's Sean Suter. We've all agreed the story that they're telling makes no sense, and that's not really what happened. But they're going to stick to that story till the bitter fucking end. So here we go.
The hysterical thing about this whole thing, too, is that, like, the left and the right has their own version of, like, well, Suter killed himself because he knows something about Clinton. No, Suter killed himself because he knows something about Trump. Or the Suter, I keep saying Epstein. Epstein was killed because he knows something about Clinton. No, he knows something about Trump.
Hey, how about this?
Yeah, he was part of a deep state cabal.
Epstein was killed because he knew stuff about rich people. They don't give a fuck about politics.
Yeah.
When they're sitting in the room together, they're not talking about, Democratic ex-President Trump and Republican ex-President Bush. They're like, hey, how much money are you sitting on right now? Yeah, we're going to pony up another $500K per person. We'll have this bitch killed.
Nobody cares about their political leanings when their ass is on the line.
No, absolutely not. When money's on the line, especially.
If it keeps me out of prison, I'll say Trump's the best president of all time. I don't know. What the fuck do I have to?
Wait. He's doing what with taxes? I feel like that's going to work out for me. All right, I'll roll back the rhetoric. I hear you. Okay, yeah. Which is why, by the way, we haven't heard shit from Hillary Clinton, who benefits a lot from what Trump is doing right now.
Yeah.
And by the way, just to go back to the first point in this lightning round that's not so lightning, Trump is in a position to win re-election if he's not impeached in the meantime.
Yeah.
And I'm not 100% sure that impeachment doesn't block him being reelected and retaking the office. That's part of it.
Here's the one. I don't want to say this that often because I don't want it to become part of like a talking point that like it becomes the reason why Trump gets reelected. But if he doesn't win, then he can be charged criminally on a lot of things that he's an unindicted co-conspirator on. The $2 million that he's being ordered to pay for charity was based off of a Southern District of New York case that proved that his charity was a big scam. Mm-hmm. So the ball, like there was a little court wrangling that was going on here, but now he has to pay that money, even though he's the president, because it was something that happened prior to him becoming president.
Yep. And he's not actually going to pay it. It's the Trump
trust or whatever.
Yeah, who pays it, but it's essentially him.
Yeah. But I mean, like, it's money that comes out of his pockets eventually. And
someday we'll have to talk about if he is to lose and he knows that jail is coming. Does he give up the office, or do we have the first non-peaceful transfer of power?
If he loses, we can try him the next day on campaign finance violations. We can try him on all sorts of different things.
On the day after the inauguration,
right? Oh, yeah. But I'm saying like only after 4 years though, because there's a statute of limitations.
Yes.
That would protect him if he got reelected.
Yes.
So if you want to see Trump go to jail, hypothetically, don't vote for Trump. Vote for somebody who isn't Trump.
Here's the hypothetical.
Really vote for the Democrat.
Here's the hypothetical. What if he loses, but knowing that he may face jail time, does not give up the office?
Yeah.
Does not peacefully transfer the power. And just says, I would like the National Guard. We are in a national emergency. National Guard has been summoned to D.C., and there will be no inauguration today. I've placed the Supreme Court under house arrest in the Supreme Court building, so they cannot swear anyone else into this office. I mean, just saying.
I'd love to see what Lindsey Graham has to say about that one.
Listen, the things that the president does are his own purview. You don't have access to the things he has access to.
You know what I think it would actually sound like? Mm-hmm. Lindsey Graham would walk up to the microphone, all the cameras would be clicking, and then he would say, OTheAnthem.com, Corey to OTheAnthem.com, O The Anthem on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and the listener line, 443-219-7595.
What's that number again?
443-219-7595. And you can find more of me at our website, CoreyBakerFilmmaker.com, which I just updated with new credits. So you can go check those out. New review for Parasite is out right now. So you can find that on YouTube and anchor.com/CoreyBakerFilm.
Anchor.fm.
Anchor.fm/CoreyBakerFilm. And Facebook.com/CoreyBakerFilm, at LegendCB5 on Twitter, Instagram, Snapchat.
Anything else? Is that it?
That's it for me.
Okay. And of course, you can find more of me at Robert and Cheek on all your social networks. Make sure you are checking out the Everyman movie reviews. I have a yob. It could be called a job if it's a hard J sound. So I haven't gotten a new review
yobby.
up. I haven't gotten a new review up, but I have a couple that are in the chamber ready to go. Parasite is one of them. I feel like we've seen other movies since then as well. I got a couple. Anyway, so we're going to get those up and ready to go. But new episode will be up. If you're listening to this live, it'll be up tonight. And if you're listening to this when it comes out tomorrow, it was up last night. So make sure you go check out a new episode of the Everyman Movie Review. RobertandCheek.com, where you can find links to everything that we do, including O The Anthem here. And the YouTube channel. That's youtube.com/RobCheek. And all the other projects that I have going on. I think. Oh, and the books, which are available on Amazon.
Barrow's Books.
Yeah, and of course, I was supposed to get another book out. That did not happen. I'm going to aim for the end of the year, even though that book is not done yet. And I'm supposed to be doing NaNoWriMo, and that's also not working out.
I have your printed book still that I'm working my way through. So I finally was able to find all the pages and put them together.
Oh, well, that's good. That's a good move in the
problem.
right direction.
The problem with me reading is I read I'll carry around the whole thing and then I'll start putting down done pages in places and then I'll just as soon as I realize that I've walked through the entire apartment putting 5 done pages and random, and I'm just oh shit, none of these are numbered.
Yeah, I got to start numbering pages too.
Where was my move? Where did I go from?
Oh well.
This is chapter 17, so that goes behind this one.
So new book coming out eventually. I am working on a new short story anthology, which I'm hoping maybe we'll just double drop something in December, and then again in January, February, just from one right back on another. This one, the new thing I'm working on, the theme is vu, Jameis vu, deja vu. And there are 9 different kinds of vu, and I think that it's all going to be stories inspired by that short story anthology. So it should be interesting. Anyway.
Nice.
Yeah.
Well, I think we've done good here today.
We've done something. I don't know if it's good. But as always, you're listening to the O The Anthem podcast, part of the O The Anthem digital network. For Corey, this is Rob. Have a great week, everybody.
Now it's time to film other things.
Oy. Mwah, mwah.